Hello, all of my fabulous, beautiful people. How are you all doing today? I hope that you are all doing very, very, very well. You see, tarot card reading is a form of cartomancy, which is a funny word for fancy card stuff, whereby practitioners use tarot cards where they use them to gain insight into the past, present, or the future, as in, yes, they say that they can tell the future. They formulate a question, then draw cards to interpret them for this end. A traditional tarot deck consists of 78 cards, which can be split into two different groups: the major arcana and the minor arcana. French suited playing cards can also be used, as can any card system with suits assigned to identifiable elements such as the air, earth, fire, and water elements. As we know, those are often the ones that are used, right? The first written references to tarot packs occurred between 1440 and 1450 in northern Italy. I apologize for my people. Scholarly research reveals that, having been invented in Italy in the early 15th century for playing games, which is what tarot cards were originally made for, playing games, there is no evidence of any significant use of tarot cards for divination until the late 18th century. In fact, historians have described Western views of the tarot pack as the subject of the most successful propaganda campaign ever launched, an entire false history and false interpretation of the tarot pack was concocted by the occultists, and it is all but universally believed. The belief in this magical meaning of the cards is closely associated with a belief in their occult properties, a commonly held belief in early modern Europe, propagated by prominent Protestant Christian clerics and Freemasons. Which one day we're going to have to talk about the Freemasons, I guess, guys. Okay, it's coming. The Thoth deck, which you are going to hear a lot about in future as well, was first released as part of Aleister Crowley's The Book of Thoth in 1944. It represents a somewhat different evolution of the original tarot deck that was created by Northern Italy, like way back and everything, all right? Esoteric use of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot was also promoted in the works of Eden Gray, whose 3 books on the tarot made extensive use of the deck. Gray's books were adopted by members of the 1960s counterculture as standard reference works on divinatory use of tarot cards. And her 1970 book, A Complete Guide to the Tarot, was the first work to use the metaphor of the fool's journey to explain the meanings of the major arcana, which is apparently a big deal. The work of Eden Gray and others in the 1960s led to an explosion of popularity in tarot card readings beginning in 1969, which a lot of us love the summer of 1969, don't we? Because it was the summer of love. Tarot is often used in conjunction with the study of the Hermetic Kabbalah, and that is spelled Qabalah. In these decks, all the cards are illustrated in accordance with Kabbalistic principles, most being influenced by the Rider-Waite deck. Its images were drawn by artist Pamela Coleman Smith to the instructions of Christian mystic and occultist Arthur Edward Waite and published in 1911. A difference from the Marseille style deck is that Waite and Smith use scenes with historic meanings on the suit cards. These esoteric or divinatory meanings were derived in great part from the writings of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn group, of which Waite had been a member. Probably going to have to also look into that because, woo boy, the meanings and many of the illustrations showed the influence of astrology as well as Kabbalistic principles. Tarot cards are now being used all over social media to tell fortunes, and several random witches who claim to possess these gifts of magic have written books and even released their own decks now. As a card myself, the Queen of Spade, I'm fucking offended. However, even those who are expert tarot card readers claim that the card can make mistakes. So mistakes can be made when reading tarot cards. The experts even say so. So what happens when that mistake ends up harming people? Skeptic James Randi once said, "For use as a divinatory device, the tarot deck is dealt out in various patterns and interpreted by a gifted reader," in quotations. The fact that the deck is not dealt out into the same pattern 15 minutes later is rationalized by the occultists by claiming that in that short span of time, a person's fortune can change too. That would seem to call for rather frequent readings if the system is to be of any use whatsoever. And right now, we are actually in a time where there has been tarot card readings being done in order to solve crimes. So today, I would really, really, really like to take a moment and talk to all of you guys about the TikToker that used tarot cards to say who solved or who committed a murder, to try to solve the murder. And then the bitch ended up sued.
I'm gonna block you in real life, and I'm never gonna unblock you. Should've known better than to doubt Ashley. It don't matter if I'm up, matter if I'm down. Now, people have been asking me for evidence. I don't understand why y'all believe anything this lady say, but I get giving people the benefit of the doubt. I don't have the infrastructure to seek the evidence, even if I know that it's there. I think that's how y'all want me to feel about
unsolved murders of 4 University of Idaho students. A professor at the school is now suing a TikTok creator for defamation.
When 5 to 10, you should have known better. I would have blew that. The way I'm gonna be around, you should have known that I would stay by your side. You should have known your girl was gonna ride a tie. And it just don't matter if you're rich or poor, out or in. Doing 5 to 10, you should have known better.
I would have blew that.
You should have known better than to defame a teacher and then end sued. I'll work on it. Hello, everybody. Hello, Auntie. Get that coffee. You might need it. Hello, Joan. Good to see you. Who cursed your robot? I don't know. Probably Bells of Nevermore. I'm just taking a guess. She was very upset that you shared screenshots. Hello, Mrs. Muddock. It's okay. You're actually not that late at all, so no problem. So today we are going to be talking about a very, very special young lady. Her name is Ashley Solves Mysteries. That is her TikTok name. And you see, she went to TikTok to, of course, solve mysteries. And she claimed to be a tarot card reader. Okay, so she's out here going, I read tarot cards and I tell people's fortune, and I'm going to use that in order to solve mysteries. This is her here, as you can see. This is her TikTok. It's called Ashley is in the Book of Life 4. She actually also ended up having another TikTok because after she went to TikTok and started doing these tarot card readings, which told her that this teacher, Mrs. Schofield, was the murderer in the case of the 4 Idaho students. Don't worry, it'll all make sense in a moment. And she got banned on this account that you're seeing now. So she had actually made a new account that was called Ashley is God in the Flesh. But when you go and you try to search for that now, you will not actually find that account. It appears that account has also been removed from TikTok, probably in the wake of this lawsuit. And so all you see is a lot of people like reacting to some of the stuff that we're going to react to today. So as of right now, this here is still her TikTok. But when you scroll down, it looks like she only started it, a few months ago. There's a whole bunch that are missing. And that's because she went back and deleted a whole bunch, I think, in order to try to save her little tushy. Because Ashley here, she didn't seem to have, she didn't understand the problem. She didn't seem to have a clue as to why this teacher would be angry with her. And the problem with this girl is that she comes on TikTok, does this tarot card reading, which claims that this teacher is responsible for the murders of the 4 Idaho students. Okay? Does a bunch of TikToks blaming this lady, has no evidence. People ask her for evidence. She goes on rants about how she doesn't need any. People tell her that this woman was not even present in Idaho when the murders took place. She doesn't care. She just seems to be way too fucking full of herself for my liking.
Due to Idaho state law, we are limited in what information we can release today until Kohlberger has his initial appearance in Idaho court.
So there has been a gentleman, I don't know if we can call him that, a pig, a piece of shit. There's been a dude, I guess we'll say, that has actually been proven to be the murderer in this case. And even after he was proven, this Ashley Guillard, I think that's how you say her last name, she still would not give it up. She was like, I don't care what the cops say. It's the teacher instead. They put a gag order on what could be released about this case, and this is her reaction to it.
It was such a good case that they had against him. Why the gag order?
I and my office and the investigators have to live with the restrictions that our Supreme Court places on pretrial publicity.
So the gag order also applies to his
What's called a probable cause affidavit that is on file with the court. According to the rules of the Idaho Supreme Court, that is sealed until Mr. Kohlberger is physically back in Latah County and has been served with the Idaho arrest warrant.
Can't tell you how they don't have a valid case against him for the actual murders.
Charging the defendant, Mr. Kohlberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder.
So as you can see, she didn't even want to accept that. She was like, there is no way that this is the guy that did it. I still say it is that teacher.
Now I can provide my answer.
Hold on, I don't know what.
I got served today with a lawsuit officially. Now,
so yes, this is when she got served with the lawsuit officially.
Now I can provide my answer. And this is where the tables turn. Did y'all see the statement that the police made that Rebecca Schofield, there was no current connection with Rebecca Schofield in these crimes? This is exactly why when I said I was chosen for this or I was sent for this and that God sent me on a mission to help with this case, I'm literally the only one.
So not only is this woman here a tarot card fortune teller that solves crimes, but she was also a tarot card fortune teller that solves crimes that was sent by God in order to solve this case and tell everyone that it was Rebecca Schofield that did these murders. Sent from God.
The only one who has made the connection. Now you guys are going to see. This case opened the door for mass dissemination, thanks to Rebecca Schofield, her team of lawyers and their press release. Mass dissemination of the truth. Because otherwise, it doesn't look like the police was going to solve this case. They literally just put a statement saying that there is no connection with the crimes in Rebecca Schofield.
Again, there is no connection. There is no connection But Ashley here just cannot give it up.
I'm literally the only one that can help with this right now.
Because she's the only one that has this delusion.
And I gladly take the responsibility. I gladly take whatever it is that I have to do.
All right, honey, hold that thought, because we're going to get into that at the end.
To make it happen. And I'm grateful. Justice for Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Zana. Did y'all see the statement that?
Again, I do think it's really gross that she keeps saying things like justice for these kids that were killed, these students in Idaho. Their families have probably been through enough. The last thing they needed was some dumbass TikTok sidekick, tarot card reader, saying that somebody committed this murder that didn't even commit it, and then making a whole lawsuit over here involving their case. Alp said, I thought Queen was a phone psychic at some point. Doesn't that just seem like it would fit? No. So I don't believe in anything. So it wouldn't work. So she's over here just causing extra stress to their families with all of this, right? And then she has the audacity to be like, oh, justice for these guys, as I go and defame and blame the wrong person all over the internet.
Rebecca Schofield, the one who murdered the 4 Idaho college students, see my videos, she's going to realize that it's very hard to outrun consequences of her actions because they seem to never stop. She's going to try not to panic and rush her decisions, and she's going to plan her escape. She's going to feel like she has options, and she's going to try to keep a level head. She's going to be relieved that the person who is in the middle of the gossip is not someone she knows, but she'll still feel a little betrayal. She's relieved to see that it appears that people, although are hearing what.
So see, she has all these little words up at the top, right? And this here says it's a smear campaign to discredit me. The funny thing is she is the one being sued for starting a smear campaign against this teacher for her bullshit tarot card reading about her.
I'm saying are not taking me seriously. That's what it appears, though. Then her plan that she had with the killer is not going to go through. It's not going to work out. Then she's going to feel like she's running out of options. Then the killer who executed the murder is going to come out of hiding. But he'll feel stuck as well as he tried to plan his escape. When Rebecca Schofield,
You're just like, what?
the one who murdered the 4, got served today with a lawsuit officially.
So yes, again, she was served with a lawsuit officially. She finally did get sued, where this poor Rebecca woman was just like, you know what? Like, this is enough of this. Why are you slandering me all over TikTok saying that I did that? So here it is right here. This here is the lawsuit. So you can see it says Rebecca Schofield, the plaintiff, versus Ashley Gillard, who's the defendant, the lady we were just watching. In November of 2022, 4 students at the University of Idaho were murdered at a home near the campus. The tragedy has garnered attention and inflicted great sorrow throughout the university, the state, and the country. And of course, again, to their families and friends and stuff. Like, I can't imagine having to also deal with all this on top of it. Defendant Ashley Gillard, a purported internet sleuth, decided to use the community's pain for her online self-promotion. She's disgusting. She has posted many videos on TikTok falsely stating that plaintiff Rebecca Schofield, a professor at this university. So this woman is a professor at the university. Hi, Angel. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. She is crazy. This poor woman is a professor at the university, right? So she's also mourning these students. You know, she's also mourning the students. And it's just so sad. It's sad that she's also mourning the student. She's going through all this at the university. She probably has other students that are upset by it. And then we have this bitch over here that is just going to basically blame it all on her for no reason either. There's no reason for her to have done this. Maybe too big. Okay. So she said that Rebecca participated in the murders because she was romantically involved with one of the victims. Her statements are false. Professor Schofield did not participate in the murders, and she had never met any of the victims, let alone entered a romantic relationship with them. Ashley's videos have been viewed millions of times, amplifying her online persona at the expense of Professor Schofield's reputation. And Professor Schofield now sues the TikToker for defamation. Right? So, factual allegations. In the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, 4 students at the University of Idaho were tragically murdered in a home near the campus. Again, it's a huge tragedy. And throughout this, in order to respect the privacy of the victims and their families, this complaint refers to the victims by their initials, KG, MM, XK, and EC. Professor Schofield was not even in Moscow, Idaho when the murders occurred. She and her husband were in Portland, Oregon, visiting friends. They stayed in a hotel, which means there's evidence of this, checked out in the morning on November 13th after the murders occurred. They drove from Portland to Moscow, a drive of more than 5 hours, arriving after law enforcement officers had discovered the murders. Professor Schofield did not commit or in any way participate in the murders of the 4 students. This poor professor has taught at the university since January 2016, and she's the chair of the history department, and she has been since July of 2021. So obviously this professor is like a good professor, very good at her job, has moved up in her work, well respected, just does not deserve this whatsoever. None of the 4 students even took a class from this professor ever. And although the university is, relatively small, she does not ever recall meeting any of the students. She's also never met this darn TikToker. Ashley Gillard promotes herself on Amazon and TikTok as an internet sleuth that solves high-profile unsolved murders by consulting tarot cards and performing other readings to obtain information about the murders. She has purported to solve the murders of musician Kirshnik Kari Ball, aka Takeoff, Shankila Robinson, Tiffany Vellante, Kevin Samuels, and of course the November murders at the University of Idaho. Full house today. Hello, everyone. Hopefully. So, she's been out here doing this whole tarot card solving murder thing for a while. Then they explain what TikTok is, where you make videos, and you can post up these videos and people can repost the videos as well and respond to them and comment and blah, 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 blah. It says on or about November 22nd, Gillard began posting TikTok videos about the November murders at the University of Idaho. She asserted that the murderer had some history with one or more of the victims and that the murderer was someone who previously was involved with one of the victims, possibly an ex. And of course, that makes for a good story, doesn't it? I feel like everything she said in this was just something that could garner her attention and clout. She was like, oh, I got a great story. Yeah, I'll just say it was like an ex of one of the victims came in, killed all 4 of them, and it will be wonderful. And then for whatever reason, I guess she decided to blame this teacher, and it just all went to hell. On information and belief, This Ashley girl has never been to Moscow, Idaho, or to any other location in Idaho, and that she had no basis to make factual statements about any of the events that have occurred there. She is just a tarot card reader who claims to solve crimes. Again, we don't have any proof she's ever helped in any of the other ones either. On or about November 24th of 2022, Ashley posted 6 TikTok videos to her account, Ashley is in the Book of Life, in which she falsely stated that Professor Schofield, the chair of the history department, was responsible for the 4 students' death. 2 of the TikToks directly and falsely state that Professor Schofield ordered the execution of the 4 students. 3 of the TikToks either falsely implied or directly stated that Professor Schofield had been involved in a relationship with one of the murdered students, KG. 3 of the TikToks Ashley posted to her website on November 24th also used Professor Schofield's photo from the University of Idaho website. Upon information and belief, Ashley did not ever receive permission to use this official university photograph that belonged to Professor Rebecca Schofield. Ashley's November 24th, 2022 TikToks were not based on any facts or any information known to her. Her statements that Professor Schofield ordered the murders and that Professor Schofield had a relationship with one of the victims are false, and they don't appear to come up with anything. It seemed as though this young woman just went and looked up on the university, found a teacher, and was just like, she did it. The end. None of it was based on any friggin' facts. On November 25th, Ashley posted an additional 5 more TikTok videos that were falsely alleging that Professor Schofield ordered and planned the murders of the 4 students. In 3 of the videos, Ashley falsely stated that professor and a student at this university, JD, together planned the murders of the 4 students. So now not only is she saying that it was the teacher that did it, but apparently this other student did it with her. Professor Schofield has not met student JD and has not ever had him in a class either. So this poor professor, she doesn't know anybody that Ashley's talking about. She has never partnered with him on anything. She did not partner with him to murder the 4 university students in Idaho. All right. On November 25th, TikToks were not based on any facts or any information known to Ashley. None of this stuff is based on any facts. On November 28th, Ashley posted 6 more TikTok videos, which she falsely alleged either by explicitly stating so or posting text with her videos that Professor Schofield participated in or was otherwise responsible for the murders of the 4 University of Idaho students, and that she did so because of her prior relationship with KG. In one video, she wrote the words, Rebecca Schofield's thoughts as she ordered the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. So she was also taunting this woman. Ashley's November 28, 2022 TikToks are also not based on any freaking facts. No facts, okay? None. And in one of the TikToks she wrote, I don't care what y'all say. JD and Rebecca Schofield killed KG, MM, EC, and XK. Rebecca was the one to initiate the plan and hired JD. On the 29th of November, Rebecca Schofield, through her lawyer, through counsel, sent Ashley a cease and desist letter informing her that her TikTok videos stating that Professor Schofield was involved were all a bunch of slander. They were all false and defamatory. She demanded that she take down her defamatory videos and demanded that she cease making any more, and that she also apologize for all of this. Ashley did not stop posting defamatory TikToks falsely stating that the professor was involved or that she had a romantic relationship with one of the students. On November 29th and November 30th of 2022, Ashley posted additional TikTok videos falsely stating that the professor was involved again. Like, she just keeps doing it and doing it. Since December 1st, Ashley has continued making false statements in her TikTok videos, falsely asserting Professor Schoffield's involvement in the murder of these students and falsely stating that she was involved in ordering the murders and was present when they were carried out, which, again, Rebecca Schofield and her husband were at a hotel. So it would not be hard for her to go, yay, come over here. Look at these cameras. You see me and my husband check in. You see we didn't leave the room the whole night. We're not even in the same fucking area. Here's us leaving. Like, not hard for her to prove. She'd have bills from the dinner that night. She'd have bills from like room service possibly. Like, not hard to prove. And she's already done this with the police. They have completely cleared her of any involvement, along with whoever this poor JD person is. Then, in one of the videos, this Ashley here falsely stated Rebecca Schofield is going to prison for the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students, whether you like it or not. She continued on to say, I'm not worried about Rebecca Schofield suing me because she will be using her resources to fight for murder cases. She ordered the execution and the murders of, and then she lists off the students' names. And she just kept going. There were videos for pretty much all of December that just kept on saying things like this. She even said that a spokesperson, Review newspaper, was protecting the killer because people started to cover this in the press, how she was like going off and blaming this poor woman, and it was getting pretty serious. This woman was being harassed because this Ashley girl did have some followers that at first, harassed her. There's some people that believe this girl for whatever reason. And so, the press started to bring it up and she started to accuse them of protecting the killer. Again, all of this is false. There is nothing that proves any of this. So again, what's equally concerning is that other TikTok users commented that they believed Ashley's false statements. And they have wondered when she would be brought to justice for her crimes, the professor. So this is part of the problem. We have this one TikToker that has a bit of a following, right? She goes off, right? And then it like goes on and on and on and on. I have asked for the proof of this for ages. Send me proof. I'll look at it. As a psychic, she should have known making these accusations was illegal. You would think so, right? Or maybe foreseen the lawsuit that was coming, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, again, she just keeps going. And on December 8th, right, poor Professor Schofield had to send a second cease and desist letter. And instead, Ashley has just gone around basically making fun of it. She seems to think that this is all a joke. I even have this little video here that I actually entitled Brat Brag. Yeah, if you need to see that again, because it's short, she bragging, all tough, like, you sure you want to do this, Rebecca? And it's very, 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 very cringe. I know she is a loser, isn't she? Only losers do fake tarot card readings to try to hurt people. I agree. So again, she's out here after she gets these cease and desist letters acting like she didn't do anything. And then she actually goes like, oh, well, this person is going to have to file actual legal documents in a federal court asking me to remove it. A judge will then determine if I need to remove it. Well, apparently TikTok determined because, they removed it all. So after receiving the cease and desist letter, Ashley on December 18th and 19th, 2022, posted more than 20 new TikTok videos falsely stating that the professor was involved with the student again and that, she did the murders to keep the student from outing their relationship. She kept going, this Ashley woman just keeps on posting it. And it keeps saying here that, every time she posts something, they say there is no, like, Ashley and this woman don't know each other. There's nothing that proves this Ashley girl's claims. This poor woman doesn't know any of the victims. She was never in a relationship with this man. She wasn't even in the same spot when it happened. She was on vacation with her husband somewhere else. Like, there is just nothing that shows that this tarot card reading was telling the truth, because tarot card readings are complete bullshit. Right? So again, they're stating here that between November 24th and the present, the Ashley girl made false and defamatory statements implicating Professor Rebecca Schofield in the murders of the 4 students more than 40 times. And since the statements are false and they involve criminal accusations, they are defamatory in nature. Ashley knew that her statements were false because she had no knowledge about anything happening in Moscow in and around November 13th. She also knew her statements were false because they were not based on any facts, because persons commenting on her post told her they were false, and because Professor Schofield twice sent cease and desist letters regarding the false and defamatory posts. Yet she just kept going. Ashley's TikToks were viewed millions of times and widely reposted by other TikTok users. And therefore, this poor professor's name ended up being linked to the murder in basic internet searches. So she feels that she's been completely defamed and her reputation has been ruined because this Ashley girl and some of her followers have linked her to this crime and blamed her for it. She also fears that she and her family will be the target of physical violence because she has been getting threats and stuff. Especially by this lady Ashley's commenters and subscribers, of course. The online false statements continues to harm and damage Professor Schofield. Ashley's TikTok account has more than 100,000 followers, and some of her TikToks defaming Professor Schofield have 2.5 million likes, indicating that the person has viewed the video and liked it. So, of course, this professor has been damaged by these false statements. Her reputation has been tarnished. She has suffered extreme emotional distress from the constant public harassment, attention, the ongoing online conversation regarding her role in the murders, which does not exist. And it's just been a lot for her. She says that she realleges and incorporates by reference all prior paragraphs of this complaint as if set forth in full herein, because she is not only suing for the defamation of the fact that she had the role in the murders, she's also suing for defamation regarding the relationship, because it's almost like not only was she called a murderer and blamed for murder she didn't commit, she was also kind of, told that she abuses her power as a teacher and bangs students. And that's not good either. So it's basically like two different parts of the lawsuit. She's suing her for the defamation for the murder statements, and then also suing her for the defamation of her being in a relationship with someone that she never, ever, ever met. Again, she says this is because her reputation was tarnished and she has suffered extreme emotional distress from the constant public attention and the ongoing online conversation discussing the false relationship with a student. She is also seeking, of course, her attorney fees if she wins. So Professor Schofield prays for judgment in her favor and against Ashley, as well as number one, compensatory and punitive damages in an amount to be proved at trial. Number two is her attorney fees, costs, and disbursements incurred here. Number three, pre-judgment and post-judgment interest. And number four, all such other relief as the court deems just and equitable. She is also demanding for a jury trial and to have a jury of no less than 12 people for this, as in this be serious. And this was dated on December 21st of 2022. So it is pretty serious what this lady has done. No way she's winning that case. Yeah, she will be lucky to find a lawyer that wants to take the case. That too. Yeah. Well, you see, there's been some stuff that has gone on. But first, I do just want to take a minute and show you a few of the videos that she has done since, of course, receiving her her lawsuit, I guess you could say. Yeah, her lawsuit. She's been bragging a lot.
I've been from posting and commenting for a few days, which is why I haven't posted any videos on this page. But someone commented and asked me how I felt about Rebecca Schofield's alibi that she was not in Idaho during the murders. For the life of me, I don't understand why y'all believe anything this lady say. But I get giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm 100% convinced of everything that I've alleged. When I make mistakes, if you look back at my videos and you see Twitch, within 12 hours in one video, I deleted everything that I said, retracted my statements, and said I need to look into that further before I post anything else about him. I haven't posted anything because I haven't had the time to investigate, and I've left that alone. I've done over 100 videos regarding this case. I am convinced that what I'm saying is true. So I don't believe her.
Again, she has nothing to base this off of. Nothing at all. Not one thing. Yet she's so adamant.
Somebody asked me about Rebecca Schofield's alibi, part 2. Also, you have to pay attention to what someone doesn't say just as much as you pay attention to what they do say.
Basically, sweetheart, she was proven to be at a hotel away with her husband. There's cameras at the hotel. She'd have her receipts for everything. Hopefully they even ordered a movie that night together. All right. And they would be able to prove it. She has been completely cleared. And somebody else is going down for this.
Rebecca Schofield said that her and her husband were not in town during the murders, that they were in Portland, Oregon. She said she checked out of the hotel they were staying in November 13th, and that they had a 5-hour drive back. Now, what it doesn't say is, what time did she get to Portland, Oregon? How did she get to Portland, Oregon? Also, what was her true motive in going to Portland, Oregon in the wee hours of the morning and then coming back the same day? A 5-hour drive.
She went the day before. And, I mean, that's none of your business. But I'm sure she has told the police.
Also, there is a question of whether or not her husband is willing, after he hears everything, to testify in court on her behalf to confirm her alibi. And what parts will he confirm?
So again, not hard to confirm her alibi.
People have been asking me to provide evidence for the statements and allegations that Rebecca Schofield ordered, planned, initiated, and executed the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students.
Yeah, you have to provide evidence. You have to have a reason why you've all of a sudden just randomly started blaming this poor woman out of nowhere. If you don't even have a connection between her and the crime whatsoever, you gotta provide something.
Although she did not do it with her own hands, like I said, she hired, with a promise to pay in different ways, Jack DeCour. Now, people have been asking me for evidence, and I think that is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard.
Why?
A psychic investigator, and Google it if you don't know what that is, job is to lead, to guide, to a higher understanding, to give clarity, and it is the law enforcement's job to assess the...
Yes, if the law enforcement is working with a psychic, which has been done before, for some fucking reason, which I'm not okay with. I don't think it's a good idea. I think all of this is a whole bunch of hoopla. I like to think that our lives are not pre-planned for us and that we don't already have a certain path that we're supposed to go on. So I like to think that there would be no way for you to tell a fortune because my future isn't predestined. So that's my belief. And so I don't think that anyone can read fortunes. I don't believe in psychics. I don't believe in any of this hoopla, especially tarot cards. Because again, if you know the history of tarot cards, the real history, you know they were created as a game. Like I said at the beginning of this video, that's why I gave you a little bit of the background and the fact that people have changed that history to go along with their occultist crap. Which is what you're doing when you take these cards and you pretend that they do anything else other than play a game. Like Old Maid, which I am the trump card for. Something like that. They are not to be used to tell fortunes. But for some reason out here in our world, we do have law enforcement agencies that have gone to psychics. There is a difference, though, Miss Ashley, in the law enforcement officers choosing to work with a psychic and wanting their advice and some bitch on TikTok who just wants some clout, some attention, and then wants to insert herself. When you do that, they don't have to listen to you at all. You're just some psycho lady on the interwebs. So if you're going to want them to take you serious in any way, shape, or form, or anyone out here to take you serious in what you're saying, you would then have to provide proof. Literally, you would have to provide proof that this woman was at least connected, especially if you're accusing her of being in a relationship with one of these students and committing these murders to like hide this relationship. If you don't even have like a text message between them, you don't even have like any proof that any of these kids took her class, if you got nothing that she has even a connection to them, you don't have the right to then attach her. That's why people want proof, because they're sitting here going, where did she even get this lady from? Hello, 6. Good to see you. You were just running amok. That's okay. I hope you sixed some things. So, like, she's acting like she came out here, did all these defamatory statements on this teacher whose university is already mourning these 4 students and their families already mourning them. They got friends there mourning them. And if you don't know, like, when something like this happens at a school, like a university, a college, even a high school, right? The whole school's affected. All of the staff are affected. So this woman was already affected by this, probably not in a good way. No one's happy about it. Awful tragedy, awful thing that happened. My heart goes out to anyone that was involved, that knew these guys or anything, their families. The last thing that anyone needed was your dumbass coming out here with your magic hoopla and your little cards claiming that some poor woman that's already mourning with the university about this was then involved, and then bringing other students into it, blaming one of the victims for having a relationship and then getting himself and the other 3 students murdered. Like, that's the last thing that his family needed from you. But you don't care. You didn't take a second to think about how this would affect people, right? As long as you can prove your magic, probably with a K, Mrs. I want to follow Crawley, and they get some internet fame off of this. How's that fame going for you?
Information that the psychic investigator gave them. They have the infrastructure. They have the resources to gather and the legal basis to request, subpoena, whatever evidence.
So maybe you should let them be the ones who say who a suspect is. Maybe you should have just shut up, let them do their jobs, and then you know what would have been, maybe not as gross if you like pretended to help them solve the case and actually blame this dude that did it. At least then I could sit with the fact that you're blaming the correct person, even if you're doing some magic hoopla and trying to get clout. That would have been a lot better than whatever the hell all this was, blaming a random woman. And we don't even know what your connection to her is. Like, everyone's out here like, we don't know why she chose this poor teacher to just start blaming it on. Like, I can't find anything. I've searched. Everyone has. It's really like she just went to the university faculty list and just picked someone. It's weird.
About me providing evidence to prove that Rebecca Schofield planned, initiated, executed, and ordered the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students, part 2.
Again, she is quoting Christ's book here, Phil 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I don't think that your God would appreciate you hurting people in mourning. I don't think he would give you strength for that. I would like to believe that your God would be better, right?
It seems to be an impossible task set before me.
But I thought you were sent by God, Ashley. Because Ashley here claims God sent her to help with this case specifically, especially. God wanted her to do these tarot card readings and solve these crimes with the 4 university students of Idaho. And like, no, I don't think God wanted you to do this, sweetheart.
They're asking me to provide evidence when I don't have the infrastructure to seek the evidence, even if I know that it's there.
And you don't have the magic to see it through tarot cards either. I hope you learned that lesson today.
However, I now have a legal basis to do so and can use that as a means to gather those resources. However, to be asking me for evidence, that's just ludicrous to me.
Yeah, to you, I'm sure it is. You want to be out here just slinging around fucking claims on everyone without showing proof, right? You got to at least have proof they were connected in some way to make it seem like at least you're going by something. But it's like you literally shit this out of your ass. Angel says, laughing out loud, Christ in the Bible strongly speaks out against activities that are occult, especially like tarot and anything that claims to know what God would know. Psychic powers, saying sorcery, magic of any kind, of course. So it's funny that she's, again, saying that God sent her to do these tarot card readings. Ken says, yeah, she's upsetting everyone, including God. God says, take me out of your shit.
That's just like asking anybody else in the tip line providing the tips that they requested for evidence of their tip.
They do that, sweetheart. They do. Do you think that at a tip line, every single tip that comes in, the cops go and check out? No. No, they don't check out every single one. Some of them, I'm sure, are completely ludicrous. And they're like, there's no reason to check this. This doesn't even make sense for the evidence we have. The police tend to keep certain things. Remember how they had a gag over and you didn't like that, Ashley? They had that gag order. You're all mad. Yeah, well, the police do that often to protect some informations of the crime so that when they get tips, there are things that aren't known to the public that they look for in these tips, right? And then they'll know, okay, well, this tip might actually be a decent one because they seem to know information we didn't release publicly. And they go by things like that. They don't just take every single tip and then run with it. Otherwise, no crimes would ever be solved. There are, unfortunately, people out here that will just call in tip lines with bullshit, just like you'll come on TikTok with your tarot cards and bullshit.
However, with God, with Christ, all things are possible. So we shall see where this goes. I already know. So you shall see.
You know, you're aware of where this goes. I don't think that you actually are. You are not as aware as you thought you were, my dear, because, you know, you acting up, and we're going to get to what happened.
I think this is how y'all want me to feel about a measly ass $75,000 lawsuit that I'm going to win. Oh my God. Killer Rebecca is suing me.
Look at her. She thinks it's a joke.
I think this is how y'all want me to feel about a measly ass $75,000 lawsuit that I'm going to win. Oh my God.
It's gross. It's gross. Like, how do you also not feel bad for like harming this woman and possibly the families and friends and the university that's attached to these kids? I'll never know. But here she is, just out here not caring.
I suggest that my friends and family members contact me. And I'm warning y'all, if anybody contact me buying into the BS online from fake pages that I'm crazy, I'm gonna block you in real life and I'm never gonna unblock you.
So you want a hug box from your friends and family. You want them to be out here going, yeah, you know what, Ashley? You just go around defaming people. You go defame people, get sued, use your magic tarot card fortune telling for evil. Go, sis, go. That's what you want. That's what you think will happen here. Because I don't think that's what your friends and family are going to do. I think maybe you should listen to your friends and family. I'm sure they're trying to give you some really good advice, like get the hell off the internet and stop blaming people for crimes with your tarot cards. Your ass already got sued.
You should have known better than to think I would leave. You should have known better than to doubt Ashley.
Should have known better than to fame that woman. Should have known better, oh, you fucked up, hon.
It don't matter if I'm up, matter if I'm down. Either way, I'm gonna be around. You should have known that I would stay by your side. You should have known your girl was gonna ride or die.
Ride or die for what? Who is about to drive off a cliff with this woman? Like, yes, let's go defame people all over the internet and blame them for murders they have nothing to do with and get sued while using fake magic and playing cards. Who?
And it just don't matter if you're rich or poor, out or in. Doing 5 to 10, you should have known better. I would have blew that if I could sing, but y'all should have known better.
Well, you should have known better than to try to sing.
TikTok had me banned.
You should know better. TikTok can't be banned. Not gonna get banned on TikTok, except she kind of keeps getting banned on TikTok. She's kind of on her like 5th account right now. People keep reporting her and getting her shut the heck down. Angel says, she seems to live in a really nice place. I wonder if that's something she has earned through her work, or if she has a partner that is really well off so she can stay at home and make defamatory TikToks. It's a good question. Either way, she got sued for a hell of a lot of money. So I hope she's got some money. The latest news came in February, the end of February, which is kind of what got me to do this stream and to kind of look into it, because she's still acting up. I figured that maybe, this lawsuit would happen. Girl would get sued, she'd lose the lawsuit, and then she'd learn her lesson. But that's not what's happening. So we have TikToker who falsely accused professor of University of Idaho murders faces doomsday judgment after blowing off defamation lawsuit. Oh yeah, she's blowing it off all right. She's been doing nothing but blowing it all off. The TikToker who accused a University of Idaho professor of being involved in the murders of 4 college students has blown off a defamation lawsuit over her claims. According to court documents, TikTok star Ashley Gillard, who has the username Ashley Solves Mysteries, has failed to respond to the professor's lawsuit. And she is just all like, I'm going to win. Then he can't even respond. You can't even respond? Really? In a new filing, Schofield explained that she had served the TikTok star, but she had failed to respond in court. The court granted the professor's motion for default. The next step for Schofield will be to make a move for a default judgment. The statements made about Professor Schofield are false, plain and simple. What's even worse is that these untrue statements create safety issues for the professor and her family, her lawyer, Wendy J. Olson, said. They also further compound the trauma that the families of the victims are experiencing and undermine law enforcement efforts to find the people responsible in order to provide answers to the families and the public. Professor Schofield twice sent cease and desist letters to Miss Gillard, but Miss Gillard has continued to make false statements knowing they are false. In response to the lawsuit, the TikTok star said, "I am not stopping," and questioned why the professor needed 3 lawyers to fight the case if she's so innocent. The suit stated on or about November 28th that there were 6 TikTok videos to her account in which she falsely stated that Professor Schofield, the chair of the history department, was responsible for the 4 students' deaths. The lawsuit said 2 of the TikToks directly and falsely state that Professor Schofield ordered the execution of the 4 students. 3 of the TikToks either falsely implied or directly stated that Professor Schofield had been involved in a relationship with one of the murdered students, KG, her name's Kaylee. So it's for all we know, this TikTok girl could also be against the LGBTQ community, and that's part of the problem here. The lawsuit was filed before Idaho police took suspect Brian Kohberger into custody for his alleged role in the murders. So this is the guy that actually did it. Fuck him. I hope he gets raped and beaten in jail every single day. All right. That's the clown that actually did it. He actually did it. Yeah, she absolutely deserves to be sued, and for a lot. Agreed. Especially like with all the harassment that poor woman put up with. Doomsday Judgment. Yeah. I like how they called it that. Okay, now I know we're talking about Queen because Redbeard works all day, so Queen can stay at home and make defamatory TikToks. No. And my husband's at home. So, this is Brian. This is the asshat that actually committed these murders. So the good news is they have at least found him, which I like. I think that's it. His name is Brian Kohberger. So this woman is not even responding. She's not even responding. She thinks she's all tough out here, all like... And then she can't even respond. So since she did not respond, what will happen is so far, Rebecca Schofield has won by default. Then if you don't show up to your lawsuit, they assume that that's because you are just kind of throwing in the towel. Like you're admitting like, yeah, I did that. Fuck me. So she's like formed a motion to basically say, okay, that she's not showing up. She's not taking this seriously. I'd like to still go ahead and, sue this woman. Let's just do it. And then the judge will decide if they are just going to go ahead or if they're going to try to do like the 12 jury thing. But they could, in this case, just go ahead and say, all right, Rebecca, you won. And then decide, what this is worth, what this defamation is worth, what she had to go through, and how much money she wants. Rebecca Schofield will get the entire amount she wants then in principle. Most likely. That's what tends to happen in cases like this. Again, I'm not psychic and I don't have any tarot cards here to read to let you know what will happen. But that tends to be what happens in a case like this, especially, again, when the girl's out here doing all this shit.
I'm gonna block you in real life, and I'm never gonna unblock you. Should've known better than to doubt, Ashley. It don't matter if I'm up, matter if I'm down. Now, people have been asking me for evidence. I don't understand why y'all believe anything this lady say, but I get giving people the benefit of the doubt. I don't have the infrastructure to seek the evidence, even if I know that it's there. I think this.
So, I mean, it's not hard for Rebecca Schofield to go to court and go, look, she hasn't taken this seriously at all, right? And like she obviously thinks that this is a joke, and she continued and still continues. There are TikToks, like I showed you guys her account. Most of those TikToks are talking about this and how she's going to win. But sorry, Ashley, I don't think you won. I think that you are being a brat. Yes, she is still claiming that she is correct and that Rebecca had something to do with it after Brian was arrested. And even after it came out, like, Rebecca was not even near there. Yes, she works at the University of Idaho. Yes, she's the head of the history department. Yes, she was a teacher there. Never a teacher of any of those students. Never had a relationship with Kaylee, like she said, and didn't hire anyone. Doesn't know Brian, and again was away. She wasn't near the University of Idaho at all. The house, she was in a completely different area. Right? She was in like Oregon for a vacation with her husband at a hotel. So she has more than enough proof. She had nothing to do with it. And Ashley just keeps going and then doesn't show up. So hopefully all of this goes in Rebecca Schofield's favor. It must have been extremely awful for her to have to deal with this. I personally hope Ashley just fucks off now. And people should just keep reporting her, honestly, on TikTok. She does not deserve to have a TikTok. And quite frankly, I don't think anyone that preys on people in mourning and uses psychic abilities or tarot cards or anything else to prey on people in mourning and pretend like they can help them solve a case or speak to a dead loved one. I think all of them are scammers and all of them should be taken off of every platform. That is a scam. It's a very disgusting one, and it is one that I have called out here quite often. I even have videos about tarot card readings that you can check out and my belief on all that hoopla if you want. Magic is not real, especially the occult bullshit that Aleister Crowley has formed, which is what a lot of these tarot card readings are based off of, which most people don't actually realize that they are doing occultist practices. Unless I guess you're a witch that wants to be known for that, which I'm not really sure why, but a witch will be a witch, which I will never understand. So I really do hope that Rebecca is just able to get what she's owed for this, which is a lot. I'm not really sure of an amount myself. Maybe let me know down below what you think she should get for all of this. I believe she has sued for $75,000. I think she should at least get that amount, the full amount in this. And then hopefully this Ashley girl just fucks off and leaves her alone. She might lose that nice apartment she's living in, but maybe she should have thought about that before she wanted to come on the internet and scam people. Especially, like I said, people that, you know, like these families just wanted to find the murderer. I can't imagine being a family member or friend of these students, these kids, and then having like this Ashley girl pulling this shit and how upset I would be. Like, it would really upset me. So I don't like what these people were put through. I don't like any of that. And I just think that this Ashley girl needs to stop. So if you do see her out on the platforms, report her. She is not supposed to be out on the platforms. And we don't need any TikTok psychic scam artists out here that have already been sued for defamation. She is lucky. And that's why I said she should at least get that. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. That's all I have for you today. And about this, again, I will let you know what happens once an update comes in, once we know, like, you know, we all want to know if Rebecca got her 75,000 or more, right? Right. So I will let you know when that happens. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day. I will see you all very, 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 very soon with another one. Lots of videos coming over the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for those. Mwah. Bye! And remember, psychics aren't fucking real. better than to be such a stupid bitch. Shut it down. Oh, fuck, her block. Bye.